Hi children, come we will see the 9th chapter, okay. Chapter 9, the living organisms, characteristics and habitats, okay. So, in this chapter we are going to learn about living organisms, okay, living organisms and its characteristics and its habitats, okay. Come we will see children. Peheli and Bujo went on vacation to many places of interest. One such trip took them to the river Ganga in Rishikesh. Okay. They climbed the mountains of the Himalayas where it was very cold. They saw many kinds of trees on these mountains, oaks, pines and deodars, very different from the ones near their home on the plains. In yet another trip, okay, see what Peheli and Bujo, they went on vacation, okay, to many places. They went to Ganga in river Ganga, no, in Rishikesh. They went to Rishikesh and also they climbed the mountains of Himalayas. Himalayas, you know, no, very cold, no, Himalaya mountains and all. Yes, okay. And there they saw many kinds of trees like oaks, pines and deodars, and they compared those trees with the trees they found near their home, but they were different. They found that the trees are different from the mountain trees like oaks and pines and deodars. These trees are different, okay, from the trees near their home. And in yet another trip, they travelled to Rajasthan and moved on camels through the hot desert. They collected different kinds of cactus plants from this trip. Finally, they went on a trip to Puri and visited the sea beach, okay, dotted with casuarina trees, okay. See, while recollecting all the fun that they had on these trips, a thought struck them. See, what is that thought? Come, we will see that. Say, after the trip to Himalayas, they went to Rajasthan, okay, and they travelled on camels and they collected cactus plants, okay. After that, they went to Puri, to the sea beach, okay, and they they observed about the casuarina trees, okay. And from these trips, a thought struck them. What was the thought? Come, we will see. All these places were so different from one another. Some were cold, some were very hot and dry, and some places so humid, okay. And yet all of them had many organisms, okay. Organisms are nothing but living creatures, okay. Organisms are what? Living creatures of various kinds, okay. Living organisms, okay. So they observed so many living organisms were there, and the climates are different from one place to other place, okay. Understood? They tried to think of a place on earth where there may not be any living creatures. Bujo thought of places near his home. Inside the house, he tried the cupboards. He had thought that there may not be any living organisms here, but he found one tiny spider in the cupboard. Even in the cupboard also, one living organism was there, okay. That was what he found, a spider, okay. Outside the home too, there did not seem to be any place he could think of that did not having living creatures of some kind or the other. Peheli started thinking and reading about faraway places. She read that people have even found tiny living organisms in the openings of volcanoes. Volcanoes, you know, no? Yeah, okay. So, So, they struck off a thought that what are all the types of living organisms, or where they will live, what type of creatures, what type of creatures are there on the earth, okay, what are all the habitats, that means what are all the adaptations, how the body accept to that much of the cold climate, okay, how camel can survive in that much hot weather. So, they thought, they struck in that thought, okay. So, come even we also struck in that thought, no children, come we will see about that, okay. So, what are all the living organisms, how they will live in that hot place, live in that cold places, okay, live in that humid places, and what are all the trees there, okay. That thing we are going to see about this in this chapter, okay. Come we will see. Organisms and the surroundings where they live. So, we are going to learn about what are all the living organisms, okay, and the surroundings where they live, okay. If you take camel, where they live in desert, no. So, what are all the surroundings, how the surroundings will, okay, that thing we are going to learn, okay. Another thought that occurred to Paheli and Bujo was about the kinds of living organisms that were present in different locations that they had visited, okay. What? Another thought that occurred to Paheli and Bujo was about the kinds of living organisms that were present in different locations that they had visited. The deserts had camels, the mountains had goats and yak. Puri had some other creatures, crabs on the beach and such a variety of fish being caught by the fishermen at the sea, okay. So, they observed that there were many creatures like camels, or in the mountains, goats and yaks, in beaches, the crabs, fishes, okay, in the sea, okay. And then there did seem to be some creatures like ants that were present in all these different locations. The kinds of plants found in each of these regions were so different from the plants of the other regions. They found that the cactus, that is the plant in the desert, is different from the plants nearby. No, so they observed that, okay, the different types of even plants also. Okay, what about the surroundings? Come to next place, children. The surroundings in these different regions, were they same? Come we will see, come we will observe, okay, what all the surroundings in different regions are same, that we will observe through an activity, okay. Let us start with the forest, okay. Think of all the plants, animals and objects that can be found there. Think about a forest, okay, and think about the animals, plants that found in the forest, okay. Come we will see. So, if we take the plants and animals in so many different regions, we can come to a conclusion about the surroundings of the plants and animals in the different region, okay. That is about the habitat and adaptation. Habitat and adaptation. What do you find from the plants and animals? See, did you find any large variety in them? See, come we will see. What are the surroundings like in the two regions? So, what do you find from the plants and animals listed in activity 1? What do you find? What is the list that you prepared? That is nothing but, see here, activity 1 now, I told no, let us start with the forest, okay. Think of all the plants, animals and objects that can be found there. List them in column 1. Look here, if you take column 1, what are all the animals you see in the forest? Elephants, deer, and what are all the plants? Big trees, like mango trees, okay. So many trees, no, like banyan tree, those things that are all the plants that you may find in forest. If you take on mountains, you can see the animals, yak, goat like that, and trees, oaks, pines like that. And in the desert you take the animal camel, and if you take plants, cactus, okay. In the sea, if you take whale, tortoise, so many animals, no, in the sea, and also the plants, aquatic plants, okay. So, these are all the different types of animals and plants will be there in different surroundings, no, okay. So, we list them in the column 1, list things, animals and plants found in the other regions that are also shown in the table. You can collect the examples scattered through this chapter, okay. So, you discuss with your friends, parents and teachers and find what are all the animals and plants and that are found in different region. Okay, children. Understood. In this way, if you create a table like this, okay, you make a table like this. What are all the things and what are all the animals and what are all the plants that you found in different surroundings. Okay, come we will see. So, from this, what are the surroundings like in that region? Come we will see that. See, in the sea, plants and animals are surrounded by saline water, that is nothing but salty water. Saline is salty water. Okay. So, in the sea, plants and animals that live in the sea surrounded by saline water. Most of them use the air dissolved in water to breathe. No, they need what? Air, no? To breathe. All living organisms need air to breathe. So, where they get? They will be in the inside the water. No, how they get the what? Air. From the air dissolved in the water, they get the oxygen. Okay. And even the plants get the carbon dioxide that is dissolved in the water. Okay. So, there is a very little water available in the desert. It is very hot in the daytime and very cold at night in the desert. The animals and plants of the desert live on the desert soil and breathe air from the surroundings. Okay. You know, if you take desert, it will be very cold in the night and very hot in the daytime. And the animals and plants live in the desert. Live on the desert soil itself. It is very hot, no? Yeah, it is in the daytime it will be very hot. Okay. But what to do? The animals should live there only, no? Yeah, even the plants and animals should live and they breathe the air in the surroundings. Okay. The sea and the desert are very different surroundings and we find very different kind of plants and animals in these regions, isn't it, children? Correct. Let us look at two very different kind of organisms from the desert and the sea. Okay, we will take two living things, two animals if you take that lives in one in desert and one in water, sea. See, like a camel and a fish. Okay. The body structure of a camel helps it to survive in the desert conditions. How the body conditions? Come we will see. What are the body conditions that help the camel to live in the hot desert? Okay. Camels have long legs which help to keep their bones away from the heat of keep their bodies away from the heat of the sand. Okay. So, camels have long legs which help them to keep their bodies away from the heat of the sand. They excrete small amount of urine. Okay. Their dung is dry and they do not sweat. So, if it sweat more means the water in the body will go away, no. So, what is the condition? Yeah, the amount of urine excreted by the camel will be very small and they do not sweat also. So, the water, they won't leave out the water in the body. We know, the water in our body, excess water in our body will be water. We throw out that in the form of urine and sweat, no. Okay. But in camel, since they get only few water, less amount of water in the desert, they have the nature of water, excrete small amount of urine. Okay. And their dung is also dry. That means water, the waste that is thrown out by the camel is very dry. Okay. Since camels lose very little water from their bodies, they can live for many days without water. Due to these characters, they can live for many days without water. Okay. Let us look at different kinds of fish. Come, we will see about the fish, how they can live in sea. See, look here, I will show the picture of the camel and these are all the animals that we are taking in different surroundings. The camels in the desert and the fishes in the sea. Okay. Okay. Come, we will see about the fish now. Okay, children. See, there are so many kinds of fish. But do you see that they all have something common about their shape? All the ones shown here have the streamline shape. Okay, streamline shape. Understood, children? This shape, that means what? Streamline means the body will be broad in the middle. That means see here, it will be broad in the middle. At both the ends, it will be thin. Okay, it will come to end. Look here. So that is the streamline shape. So this helps the fishes to swim in the water. See here, it will push the water will be easily go. If we the fish move forward means the water will go away in this way. So that the fish can move in the forward direction. Understood, children? In the forward direction. So this is nothing but the streamline structure of the body, okay, streamline shape of the fishes, okay. So, this shape helps them move inside the water. Fish have slippery scales on their bodies. These scales protect the fish and also help in easy movement through water. So, the helps the water slippery, very slippery of scales, no, we can't able to catch the fish. Why? It is very slippery, no. See, in the river, if you go to river or a pond, if you catch the fish, we can't able to catch it easily. We should hold it tightly, otherwise it will fall again, it will go again, fall again to the water. No, why? Because of its slippery scales, okay. Understood, children? So, this also helps it to protect from the what? Enemies, okay. Yeah. So, the fish have flat fins and tails that help them to change the directions. So, fins and the tails help him to change the directions and keep their body balanced in water. Gills present in the fish help them to use oxygen dissolved in water. So, fish, we know no, fishes breathe through gills, okay. So, the water enters through the gills and the oxygen present in the water will be taken by the gills and the extra water will be come back from out of the gills, okay. In this way, the fishes breathe, okay, fish breathe through the gills, okay. So, we see that the features of a fish help it to live inside water and the features of a camel help it to survive in a desert. So, these are all the features, these are all the what features that helps the camel to live in the desert. It has what? Long legs, so that their body, it keeps the body away from the heat, okay. Otherwise, the body due to the hot sand, what will happen? Body will get very hot, no? Yes. So, these features helps the camel and the fish to live in their surroundings, in their water, in their places, okay. Understood, children? So, we have taken only 2 examples from a very wide variety of animals. So, children, we have taken only 2 examples from a very wide variety of animals. See, we have taken only camel and what? A fish, no? Yeah. See, from a very wide variety of animals and plants that live on earth, okay. In all these variety of organisms, we will find that they have certain features that help them live in the surroundings in which they are normally found, okay. The presence of specific features or certain habits which enable an organism to live naturally in a place is called adaptation. So, this is called what? Adaptation. That animal is adapted to that place due to that what? Special features, okay. That is called adaptation. That is what? The presence of specific features or certain habits which enable an organism to live naturally in a place is called adaptation. See, can we live in desert? We can't able to live all the time, no. We can go for a vacation or see, if we go to what? Desert, hot places, we won't wear sweater and all. We will adapt to that places, no. Yeah, that means what? Temporarily, okay. Temporarily we won't wear sweater and all, we will drink more water, okay, to make our body cool, like that. That permanently these plants and animals will be there itself, no. So, these have the special features, that is the certain habits which enable what? Those organisms to live in that places is called adaptation. Understood, children? Adaptation of organisms differ depending on their place of dwelling. That is why a fish cannot live out of water and a camel cannot live in sea. So, that what? Can a fish live in desert? No, no. Can a camel live inside the water? No. Okay. Understood, children? So, this is about adaptation. Okay, children. So, now you know about adaptation, no? Okay. Come, we will see about the habitat. The place where organisms live is called its habitat. Okay, its habitat. Okay, habitat means a dwelling place. That means a home. Okay, that is the home of that animal. Okay, so habitat is nothing but the place where even if you take elephant, for which is its habitat? Forest, because it lives in forest. No, children. Yeah. If you take what? If you take yak and all, mountain regions, no mountains, it live in mountains, that is its home, that is called its habitat. Okay. So, habitat is nothing but the home. Okay. The habitat provides food, water, air, shelter and other needs to that organism. So, that what? That home provides is the food, water, they get the what? That animals get their food there easily. So, that they are living there. Without food they will move from there, no? Yes. So, see, the habitat provides food, water, air, shelter and other needs to organisms. Several kinds of plants and animals live in the same habitat. Okay. If you take sea, if you take so many what? Seahorse, octopus, dolphins, big fishes, all these whales, all those things live in water. Yeah, in the sea itself. Okay, and the water plants all live in sea itself. No, yeah, tortoises, if you take so many things. So, in several kinds of animals and plants can live in a same habitat. Okay. Okay, understood children. The plants and animals that live on land are said to be live in terrestrial habitat. Okay. So, come we will see about the what are all the habitats one by one. Okay. Understood. The plants and animals, see, the plants and animals that live on land are said to be live in terrestrial habitat. We call it as terrestrial habitat. Those live on land, okay, are called terrestrial habitat. Some examples of terrestrial habitats are forest, grasslands, deserts, coastal and mountain regions. See, these are all lands. Okay. See, if you take forest, grasslands, deserts, coastal areas, that is beach sites, okay, and mountain regions, these are all the terrestrial habitat, that is land, okay, terrestrial habitat. On the other hand, the habitats of plants and, come we will go to next page children. Plants and animals that live in water are called aquatic habitats. Aquatic habitats. Okay, terrestrial is nothing but the animals that live on land. Okay, and aquatic animals that live in water are called aquatic habitats. Okay, for example, lakes, rivers, and oceans are some examples of aquatic habitats. So, what are the examples? Lake, rivers, oceans. Okay, aquatic habitats. There are large variation among terrestrial habitats like forests, grasslands, deserts, coastal and mountain regions located in different parts of the world. Okay. The organisms both, okay, understood, there are large variations in the terrestrial habitats. Okay. If you take forest, that will be different from desert. Okay. If you take what? Coastal areas, beach sides, that will be different from what? Forest. Like that, there will be large differences will be there between terrestrial. If you take aquatic habitats, it will be most of the things will be same, okay, underwater thing. If you take terrestrial habitat, in most the water, there are large variations, okay, understood children. So, this is about what? So, this is about habitat, adaptations and what are all the types of habitats, okay. This much we saw about in this chapter children. So, what is adaptation? What are the features that are adjust to that surroundings, okay, is called adaptation. The features that is in the living organism which are adjusted to the surroundings, adapted, that is called adapted, adjusted, okay. And the habitat is nothing but the where the living organisms lives is called its habitat, and there are two types of habitat, terrestrial habitat and aquatic habitat. Understood children? So, these much things we saw till now, okay.